especially based on yes, based on how EG have been playing in today's series, I think the importance of this series has actually been magnified a little bit because EG are looking hotter after today. So losing this does put you at risk against an ultimate EG matchup later on in the coming week. But yeah, let's have a look at the game. This is really exciting. Obviously, a lot of familiar faces in this series. Also, if you're not necessarily a very avid NA Dota viewer, there's some profiles you might recognize from the EU. Mainly from Quincy crew, you've got Kezu as well as Milan, who's used to play in EU Division 1. And on the other side, you have Saberlight, who used to play, I believe, did he play Division 1 in EU last season, or was it Division 2? But at least also played EU.
He played NA last season too, but yeah.
So it was before that. Oh, well, actually, it's already 2 seasons ago, huh? Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. All right. Lots of interesting stuff to unpack in this game. I'm super happy we get to see Dawnbreaker. It's one of my favorite heroes. It's super fun. The lane with Veno is extremely powerful. Kezu is rocking a set that looks like a vase from Indiana Jones, however. We'll see if that influences anything.
Have you seen Indiana Jones?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I have.
All 3?
I think so, yeah.
We don't count the 4th.
I think so. Okay. Maybe I've even seen the 4th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so obviously the panel did touch upon this, why this lane is so good. But just to summarize it, Venomancer has one of the strongest slows in the game, and Dawnbreaker does insane damage for a support early on in the laning stage. So you want to connect a Gale and then go to town. The one thing that Undying do have going for them against this as their particular lane is that they have 2 stuns. And that is something that can stop Dawnbreaker in her tracks with Starbreaker. So you can either use a Wraithfire Blast or the Nightmare to kind of combo break down here. And that's something we're going to be looking for them to do. Mid lane, classic matchup. You and I have talked about this yesterday, or, well, it was a couple days ago, but Quap against Puck. A classic in that mid lane. And finally, top lane. I think Gyro Disruptor should do very well up here. We've seen Gyros do great against Brood, and this should be no different. It's a pretty solid matchup. So Quincy's laning looks to be good here.
What do you think about the whole discussion with Bryle having kind of this mental block against Quinn, Cinderin? Have you ever experienced anything like that as a pro player in the past?
I don't recognize any mental block, but I do remember having absolutely atrocious win rate against Puppy, probably one of the worst of all time.
Yeah.
Was very intimidated by
a lot of people have that issue, though.
Yeah, I guess so. But not that like special block in particular. I think if it is something anywhere, it would be in the mid lane, right? It's the one-on-one matchup. It's the one where, you know, these players face off on a regular basis in pubs. It becomes a mind game of reading the next move from the other player, and you know each other just more. You know the matchups against each other closer than you do in the other lanes. So say, oh, hang on, Milan.
Yeah, bottom lane.
It's a fairy there.
Milan did. Yeah, he went off with the Starbreaker. Actually got canceled by the Wraithfire Blast, so really good timing there.
Yeah.
But you're right. Dawnbreaker, what's the reason I mean, I guess I know the answer to this, but what's the reason we don't see Dawnbreaker these days? Is it because of the abysmal win rate at TI by any chance?
I think one of the problems with Dawnbreaker is that it's a dependent support to an extent, and most teams pick their supports relatively early, right? She can't only be played support, she's also flexible in certain roles. I think there is space for a carry Dawnbreaker once in a while and an off lane, but she's dependent. And that means if you were to pick this hero early, it kind of forces your hand later in the draft, because in my opinion, Dawnbreaker without 1 or 2 key setups in the comp is very weak. It's hard to use your ulti effectively, it's hard to land your Starbreaker. In this game, they have Glimpse, and they have Gale and Homing Missile, which are 3 tools that are pretty good for the Dawnbreaker ult. And aside from that, I think it's just a Milan favorite. He's playing the crap out of this hero right now. He's having a great time in pubs. So sometimes, you know, players are just feeling something, and then they go with it. I'll promise you, if Quincy play the series today and they lose twice with Dawn, they're not picking it for the rest of the season. But for now, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna trust it.
A very early call. I don't know if that's a prediction, but as we're gonna see First Blood go the way of Moon Meander for Undying. Ponlo just stepping a little bit out of place there. So you are left to his own devices here.
The Disruptor in this lane, I think the primary job of him is to play behind Gyro. The kill almost doesn't exist on Gyro in this lane for Brute Grimstroke, but it does exist on Disruptor out in the jungle. So your primary job is to make sure the enemy team doesn't pull through Way of Sentries, and then if you can pull, it's great. But playing in Limbo out there is very dangerous, and he gets punished there.
Oh,
nice Nightmare.
Lane. Oh, a Nightmare again, canceling the Starbreaker. Kezu has to walk away with just a sliver of HP. Does use the salve though. Milan using that thick body of his. I mean, this is the one benefit of having a... I mean, I guess it's not just for support Dawnbreaker, but her strength gain is absolutely absurd.
She has some of the best stats in the game. At level 3, Dawnbreaker is sitting on 860 health with no stat items, just 33 strength. 3.6 per level, high base strength. Oh, Tomato could be in trouble here. They have to Nightmare again. He's going to die, for sure.
Yep, Starbreaker will finally connect here, and yeah, we'll see if they can get the deny Dubu. If he tries to go for it, might cost his own life. Not able to even get the auto attack off, but will live for himself at the very least.
Oh, Bryle struggling against Quinn.
Bryle. So 23-4 to 16-2, so Quinn definitely winning this matchup, which if the panel didn't illuminate you guys too much, this has been kind of a standard thing apparently between Bryle and Quinn. That's top lane. Kinetic Field was there. Saberlight taking some heavy damage.
You know,
I mean, at what point does Moonmeander need to leave this lane, or is there a point where Brute can even solo?
I think he should leave when Brute's level 6. That's kind of the standard. You want to leave Brute alone. Well, as much as possible, you should give him solo experience to begin with, but he can completely abandon the lane at 6, because then Brute is going to have a Spiderling army, and he's going to be able to kill the Disruptor on his own. But for now, Moonmeander is actually just going for a little bit of pressure here. The raindrop does help Ponlo quite a bit.
There. Stroke of Fate is available. Gets it off. Not able to combo through creeps or anything though, so
Ponlo could
have to back away.
Lost a little bit of confidence there. I think that could have been a potential counterplay. This sticks on Moonmeander and raindrop. He would have been fine. What was I going to say? So in this mid lane, if this is the pattern of Quinn versus Bryle... Oh, hang on. Bryle. Guess 6. No Sonic. They're going to TP.
Yeah, both level 6. And there's a TP here. So there's the coil. Sonic Wave comes out early from Quinn. Did connect. He's going to get silenced, though. Phase shift. No, nice. They'll find the kill. So nicely done from Undying. And this is what the panel was talking about, that they potentially need to give him a little boost, you know, a little confidence boost here.
Yep.
In that mid lane.
If Quinn is always beating Bryle like this, the NA leaderboard makes a lot of sense, right? Because there's like, these players are very high rank and they keep meeting each other all the time, and every time Bryle meets Quinn, he loses his lane. So he's like the gatekeeper for Bryle to reach rank 1, because if he's struggling against Quinn and they meet on every second pub, you know, then that would account for something. But yeah, despite that kill, Quinn is still ahead by a decent margin.
So I'm going to say this, just from a traditional sports aspect, when there's a mental block like that, all it takes is one game to turn it around. Because it is mental at this stage. I think we can establish that. Inkswell top lane is going to connect on Ponlo, but there's a glimpse to take Saberlight out of the fight for a little bit. He's actually really low. He's going to pop the Insatiable Hunger, but it's only level 1, so I don't think you can really rely on that in the midst of all these heroes. He's actually going to get forced out completely now, so didn't really get to right-click much at all to get that lifesteal.
Yeah, Saberlight is clearly losing this lane. I think this is to be expected. Gyro is a particular counter pick that some teams are running against the Brute in lane. You're just so strong in the fist fight. You're one of the carries that can just take it to Brute if Brute comes in nice and close. Didn't even skill Rocket Barrage in this lane, just has the Flak Cannon up to push out the wave. It's a different way of solving the Brute problem. You just never let him push into you. Just keep shoving out the wave and then pull. Gyro is very adept at that, so... Yep. It's expectable that Gyro's ahead. Is honestly looking pretty great for Quincy. All 3 of their cores are very happy. Wraith King also being a little bit in a pickle here against the Veno pressure.
Quinn making a rotation bot lane. By the way, he's actually quite even mid lane to mid lane at this moment. XP is basically the same. Net worth, Quinn is actually technically behind, so a nice catch-up here from Bryle. Obviously, that gank did help a lot, as Regen Rune is going to be bottled by Quinn. Wow. Bryle was literally sitting right on top of it, but Quinn will take the better of him there. So good to see from Undying's perspective that Bryle able to kind of negate the the good start from Quinn to start things off.
Yeah, and it is a very good puck game. I would say this hero is great against Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker needs to get into the middle of the fight, and you can just get isolated and caught out. You have a lot of spell damage, obviously, which Dawnbreaker, as a support, is not going to itemize a lot of mitigation. So even though her health is high, the spells do full damage.
Saberlight, top lane. He was stuck in the kinetic field, the call down as well, but it doesn't look like Quincy Crew wants to actually go any further, expecting some backup, which is coming. Was a little later than maybe anticipated. And Bryle, knowing that he's off map, gets off the coil. This will be a support kill in all likelihood. Glimpse does go off though, but the coil breaks. So Undying claim at the very least something for their troubles, but that's a lot of rotation at the top lane just for a support.
It is, and in the meantime, the pressure is just mounting on the bottom lane with Kezu as well as Milan sitting here. Milan already level 6 on Dawn as well, keep that in mind. So the global plays can start coming out. If a homing missile lands top on the Brood, you can commit, or on the support, of course. You can technically combo it with Quap blinking in. You can also Dawn ulti on top of that, so options are there. Dubu, bottom lane. Does seem like they're going to
show him off, and does break a lot of trees, so provide them potential vision if a Plague Ward is put in there.
It is so miserable playing Bane against this hero, against Veno. It's just... ugh.
I feel like you could say that with Bane against like half the heroes in Dota.
Veno has like
they've tried to mitigate it a bit with illusions, but...
You are so terrible at killing the Plague Wards. And if you get Galed, you're very, very weak against a follow-up combination from any hero. There's plenty of supports that are meta nowadays that have some sort of mobility, right? Oh, nice sidestep there from Dubu against the Gale, but he might still be in trouble, though.
Might not matter.
Oh, he nightmared the Donald.
Canceled. Oh, man. Not sure where he was going. I guess it would probably be mid lane.
He was connecting.
Moonmeander stuck inside the kinetic field. Looks like Dubu's attempting to TP out in the meantime as well in the bot lane. So across the map, 2 supports dead in favor of Quincy Crew.
Yeah, so they did stop that Dawnbreaker ult with Bane, but it is still going to cost them Bane's own life and the support Grim. But if that kept the puck alive in mid... And keep in mind, Dawnbreaker's ulti, it's really punishing being interrupted, right? Because it still goes on cooldown.
Yeah. Oh, Sonic Wave top lane. Saberlight is deniable. Bryle's in the vicinity. Gets off the silence onto Ponlo, but they're going to lose the Brood. Has to expend his ult just to secure the kill on the support again. But a 1-for-1, obviously not what Undying was looking for.
Yeah, Quincy's uncharacteristic draft is definitely paying off so far. Top 3 cores, the Dawnbreaker a decent chunk ahead of the Grimstroke, the position 4 on the opposing team, and the 5s are basically neck and neck, so Quincy winning across the board here. The question is, what's the next step? This is where sometimes for Veno it can get awkward. You take that enemy safe lane tower, you start farming the extra side camps as Kezu is doing now, you build up, you get the vessel. The next move for him is likely going to be to pressure mid, but sometimes it feels like you hit a wall where you just never really get through to that tower. And I'm looking to find a way for Quincy to ensure that they do get that mid-tier 1 within the next few minutes, as that will make Veno's game so much easier, opening up that path. All right, that's probably a dead disruptor. I knew it.
That's been kind of the... Wow, great call. That's his 4th death of the game. But again, just a position 5 that they're feeding off of right now. Saberlight has the Orb of Corrosion. Is that actually all he has? Arcane Boost, Orb of Corrosion, and Soul Ring. So we'll be going for Pipe next, which I guess was kind of the build at TI for the most part.
Yeah, he's going for the Aura utility build with the piped up spiders against the overwhelming magic damage. The problem is they're still going to die to Flak Cannon. And he has the pipe for his team, which is good, but I'm genuinely concerned for Undying's damage output. Like, look at their heroes. Grimstroke's damage, so-so. Bane's damage, minimal. Wraith King gonna get kited by Veno a lot. So then you have Puck, and that's kind of it. And he's going Yules. So you fast forward 5 to 10 minutes, what are you killing with as Undying?
Right.
I think Tomato really needs to do a lot of damage, and we're way off when he can commit into fights against this lineup. It's a hard Wraith King game, in my opinion. Veno, Gyro, Disruptor, all 3 tough matchups.
What about
initiate.
when it gets to like the team fight time of the game? I mean, Grimstroke ult this game isn't particularly amazing. I mean, Fiend's Grip would be, well, speaking of Fiend's Grip, Dubu looks like he's going to get caught out. Gets the Nightmare off to start things, but Quinn's going to take that for himself. And you can see Saberlight in the vicinity, but the coil onto several heroes with the Solar Guardian coming to fruition. It's a 1-for-1 support for support. Saberlight getting chased by Quinn with that double damage rune, not able to deny himself off the neutrals. So Quincy Crew again getting the better of that trade.
This is mid tower
If they can
time.
go any further here with the tier 1.
They have glyph for this wave. They should use it. Oh, didn't use the glyph. I think that could have been a nice one. But it looks like they're not even going to... I'm surprised. I thought they were going to try to take this moment to look for it. No puck ulti. They know Wraith King can't really fight into them yet. Veno is peeking. But they will play it safe and not try to squeeze out extra advantage from that. Oh, casual bottle refill. There comes the Vessel out for Kezu on the Veno. No truly amazing target for this except Brood. I think against Wraith King's lifesteal, it's nice, but if that was the only reason, I wouldn't say it's worth it. But I think against Insatiable Hunger, it gets that additional value. The lifesteal percentage on Brood is very high. So should be nice. It's also a feel-good item on Veno. Your health pool is garbage, so you want something that gives you max health, and Vessel does exactly that. He's currently queuing up what seems to be a hood as his next purchase, so... He's trying to get tanky. What would you think is his next item? Probably Lotus, right? Seems like a stable game for
Lotus
that.
is solid.
Yeah,
Speaking of next items, Quinn is rounding out an Orc. This would be a huge kill. I don't know if they can catch him, though. Quinn, Spidey senses tingling here. Very low on mana, but also very close to finishing. It's going to get scouted by the Spiderlings.
Oh, perfect timing.
Looks like he'll stay safe. But speaking of that, I mean, they have the Orchid coming out soon, but at the same time, Bryle, I think the Yules is coming out now, so a way to dispel that.
Yeah.
So might have to go for somebody else instead.
I think the good thing here for Quinn is that he should be happy to Orchid a lot of other heroes because of what we talked about before, the damage issues. Quap is inherently a very tanky hero nowadays. You get 11 strength level 10. You go for this build with Treads double null and 1.
Oh.
That's a strange manner of conduct.
Sorry. A lot of spiders for Milan.
Yeah, Moonmander's dead.
Yep, not looking too hot for him. Quinn
So-
takes credit for that one. He's 5 kills on the board now.
So I think what you do with this Orchid as Quinn is obviously you want to use it on the puck if he Yules, right? But if he doesn't, I think just Orchiding Bane... Oh, he
Links
will
in
force the
aggressively.
Yule
He's
here.
gonna get coiled. He's still
That's
pretty
also
healthy.
good.
Static Storm Kinetic Field combination on top of them. Kezu with that Poison Nova as well into the Sonic Wave. Down goes Bryle. Tomato. He still has Reincarnation. Oh, he's actually doing a really good job of armlet toggling, but here comes the slow. But Yawar with the call down right on top with that Spirit Vessel applied as well. Tomato, very ambitious TP. Double kill for the position for Milan Dawnbreaker. And Quincy Crew looking extremely good right now.
That is a nice detail that I overlooked, that they can use the Orchid in this way. Because if they force the puck to Yules himself, that is setting up Disruptor for success, right? So
Yep, true.
it's an added benefit. It's only in the situations where Disruptor is in position to do it, but it's a nice luxury for Quinn to have that they have that chain silence for the Yules. And if Disruptor is not in position, you probably just
Saberlight.
Orchid the Bane and kill Bane, right? Oh, that's
He is
Saberlight.
Orchided. No.
It will glimpse.
Glimpse into the kinetic field, and here comes Milan.
It's a trade.
Yep, he's going to take it again. All right, turn this into a carry, young man. I mean, he has a Holy Locket, so a little bit late for that, I guess, but
Lock it into
he'll be
Ags.
going for the Ags.
It ruins Wraith King, this item.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Wraith King doesn't want to buy MKB against the Dire heroes, but he's kind of going to have to if he wants to deal any damage in Solar Guardian with Eggs. So effectively what it does is it increases the ulti duration to up to 6 seconds, and you can drop whenever you want. And while it's pulsing, so the longer you just hold it, every hero in the AoE has 60% evasion. So it's almost 2 butterflies that you give to your allies in terms of evasion. It really is crazy when you put it like that, right?
Yeah, and
The
on top
total
of that,
EHP is just
healing-
crazy. And it heals. Yeah.
The healing increases as well on top of your Holy Locket, which amplifies all that, so,
Are scanning.
yep.
Yeah.
Really good build for the support Dawnbreaker.
It was also the most popular. We didn't see this hero too much at TI, but when it was played as a support, I would say Ags was the most popular build, sometimes with, sometimes without Locket. And the teams
Yeah.
that played it the most were, I believe, EG on Fly, and I want to say T1 played it on Zephyr a decent amount of games, and they both really liked this Locket Ags build, so
Is never tried.
tested and true.
And
He's going to get
I miss
Philosopher's Stone, too.
watching. I miss watching the position 1 Dawnbreaker. Like we saw it from VP a few times at TI. A couple of teams tried to pull it out, and it always looked really good until it didn't. You know? Like halfway through the game, it just felt useless. I love these heroes that can just be played in so many different positions. And hopefully Dawnbreaker can get a little bit stronger from every aspect, really, unless this becomes more of a trend again.
Yeah, I would love if
nothing's
Dawnbreaker
really changed,
gets
right?
buffed because I like playing Dawnbreaker.
Yeah.
So you have my...
Increase her stats, please.
I would vote for
More
you for
stat
president.
Well, that would be an improvement probably over anybody in the past 80 years.
Strange manner of
So thank you, Cinderin. Yuar, by the way, on this gyrocopter has had his Ags for quite a while as Kezu is going to get gripped on the sideline. Static. Oh my god, look at that heal! Just from not even an Ags being held by Milan. They're going to take out Brood to start this fight. The Solar Guardian was great. And just before his death, Moon Meander gets off his ult, but it's not going to matter much. 3 dead, and into the Roche Pit Quincy crew goes. They are looking very strong right now. 7K lead at 19 minutes.
All right, on a scale from 1 to 10, what score would you give Quincy Crew's voice line XD? What is that lie in your list?
What do you mean voice line?
Their voice line. From their team supporter pack.
I'd have to listen to it again.
They have one that's literally
you know
Quinn deadpan saying XD. They're playing it twice here after this fight.
Okay. Let's hear it. I can't hear it, Cinderin.
I know,
It's too
you're
low
old
on
and
my
deaf.
end.
Unfortunate, but for the audience... Oh, in
Why don't you
slow-mo, it's
answer
even
the
better.
question for me?
XD.
Give me your rating.
I don't know. I was curious about what you thought. I don't have an opinion on anything. Mid-tower.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because I
very
couldn't
good.
hear it.
Oh, that's probably a very interesting way
Better
of
than
rating.
most voice lines.
It's probably pretty accurate. The average voice line that you haven't heard is better than the average voice line.
A glimpse back onto Tomato. He has armlet Deso, so you got to be a little bit careful, but you can see the Spirit Vessel applied. They just want to get rid of this first life. They're going to do so, but it's going to cost the coil onto several heroes. And, all right, the pipe applied to these little babies.
They're going to get flacked.
Looks like they'll
to
be
oblivion.
fine. Quinn's still sporting the Aegis, so he's going to Orchid the Bane. Dubu's going to get absolutely demolished. And Tomato looks to be next. So double kill for Quinn. Quincy crew are on another level this game. And I think a lot of it has to do, correct me if I'm wrong, the draft is just so unusual.
Yeah.
And usually when that happens, it's either terrible or like this, right? It feels like that's usually the case.
I think they're very... I think Undying are just very unfamiliar with the flow of this game. I wonder how many of the heroes that Quincy are using that they haven't really played against in scrims or just recently in general. I'm going to say both Veno and Dawn are probably heroes they don't play against on a daily basis, if at all, in scrims. So
Yeah.
definitely. The funny thing about this is it kind of takes me back to, I think it was it Quincy Crew against Vici Gaming at the Animajor? In game number 1, they had this tailored strategy they went in with against Vici where they had Venomancer as one of their first 2, and they just ran Vici Gaming over. And then it got banned in the next 2 games. By Vici Gaming in that series. So Quincy just seems to be a team that like this hero, with or without SVG. It's definitely still something that they have an
And with or
understanding of how to
without
play.
Kezu, right? Because
Right.
Kezu wasn't coaching them at the anime.
No,
so.
he wasn't coaching or playing. Who was playing the Veno? Who did Quincy have as offlaner then?
Lelis?
Right, it was Lelis
Veno.
playing Veno. Yeah.
Lelis liked to play a lot. Oh,
Quinn.
bottom lane, Quinn. Coiled again. It feels like the 10th coil on him that he's going to live through. Gets silenced after the fact, though. But he will still survive. And again, this is with an Aegis still with 2.5 minutes to go.
Brawl getting glimpsed.
Back. Bryle. All right, inside the kinetic field, Static Storm. Quinn's just going to stand his ground. Yules will keep Bryle alive a little bit longer, but finish off by the Sonic Wave. Dubu next on the list. Quinn still alive and will just TP back. Oh! How did that not kill him? There's no way that didn't kill him. All right.
All right, now that is where
So
you play
Aegis will
slow-mo,
stand
not on
back.
XD. That was less than a 1/10 of a second off killing him. That was level 3 stroke.
Wow.
That would have got him for sure. Dude,
Yeah.
that was so close.
Whew.
But no cigar.
No cigar indeed.
11K lead. They just keep rolling them. Honestly, when's the last time something good happened for Undying this game?
Well, when they started the game, maybe?
Was that good? I mean, it led to this.
I think they got first blood, didn't they?
Ah.
Yeah, Moonmeaner got first blood.
That was the
so
last
that was
good
the best
thing. So the other 6 kills they got since then were bad. They might have all been trades, actually. They have got a
I mean,
mid tower.
a lot of those kills were on Disruptor for Ponlo, so they didn't feel it too good, you know? At least the first blood gives you extra gold.
Yeah. That is
So,
true.
Undying's perspective, what do they need to do? Because
Wait, they've only killed one other hero. They've killed Conlo 6 times out of 7 and 1 time on Quinn.
Uh-oh, this might change though. Kezu, he's gonna get coiled. He breaks
Super
it.
tanky.
He's gonna stay around with that Shiva as he is ridiculously tanky. And look at the healing from the Solar Guardians. They're applying all their pressure to him. Tomato is basically crawling towards it, but it can't do anything. Completely kited. And this is another disastrous fight for Undying. My God, 21-7. Quincy crew just dumpstering Undying right now.
Dude, I can tell you, as a player that loves both Veno and Dawnbreaker, this is like the best feeling for both heroes at the same time, what happened just then. Veno gets jumped by 4 heroes, has super tanky items, and the Dawnbreaker just makes him invincible with the Ags. That was literal. They could have won that fight 2v4, no joke. Like, they actually could have won it without backup. If the enemy team stuck on Kezu and all got Poison Nova there with Dawnbreaker ult, they just couldn't kill him. They could have dropped literally everything they had and it wouldn't have been enough. This game is
and remember, coming into this
over.
game, Quincy crew have looked a bit shaky at times this season. I mean, they're the ones that have lost at least a couple games where an Undying is literally undefeated in every aspect. I was not expecting a lopsided game to start this best of 3, but things can definitely turn around. You talked about how in the Animajor, Veno was banned, and then the series was totally different from there on out. We'll see what else Quincy crew has in their bag. I mean, is there... For Undying right now, what is the way to get back into this game? It is obviously big time uphill. Mount Everest type effort here.
If the teams were playing on LAN, you could pause, go to the other booth, and unplug computers. We're not playing them on LAN, so...
That sounds more like something that would happen at WCA.
Yeah, true.
Not at this level of tournaments in there.
All right, I just need a little bit of time to think, because it's really hard to... I'm not doing this for effect. The reason it's so hard is that I don't see them killing anything in Dawn ult, right? That's the problem.
Right.
They don't have damage, as we
kill
talked
Dawn.
about. Yeah.
Easy. All right, Quinn jumps in with that BKB. Sonic Wave finishes off Moon Meander. Tomato is just getting kited so hard by Keza. Look at him. He can't do anything. He cannot close the gap whatsoever. Buyback now onto Moon Meander. There's the Soul Bind. What's the follow-up, though? Kezu is getting a little bit low, needs to stand inside that Solar Guardian, and will be mega healthy as a result. Triple kill as GG comes out from Moon Meander. This was a Gaben level shellacking. You can see Quinn extremely excited about his play.